Okay, guys, let's understand UI automation with some real-world example. I hope all of you guys know about eBay and some transactions to some e-commerce sites, right? So let's focus on this scenario. I want to search for something in eBay. I input something, then out of from this results, I'm going to filter out that results, and then I'm going to verify the filtration. Let me share my screen, guys. Now we are on the eBay homepage, right? What I want to do is I want to enter some search term. Let's assume Samsung S20. Then I click on this search button. It will provide me this search results, right? So as for the filtration, I want to click on this for international shipping. Then it gives me these results, which are free shipping results. So here we're going to be asset on free shipping label. We don't need to be worried about counts and anything because this is a UI functional test. These counts and everything will be verified in the unit levels. So we'll just verify with this free shipping label. So that will be our test. Now how to automate these actions? Now we have to interact with these elements in the eBay. We have this search text field, search button, then in search results, in the left panel we have to filter out, then we have to accept. So definitely we need to identify these elements, right? How to identify these elements? How can we do that? There are several ways to identify these elements. Let's see how we are going to do that. In this case, I'm in this Chrome. In the Chrome, go to More Tools, Developer Tools. You are getting this Developer Tools. In here, click on this arrow and click on the element that you want to identify. Down here, you can see some of these areas has been highlighted, right? So this is the DOM. We call it as a DOM because this is a document object model. And the highlighted area is an element. Within this element, you can see some of its attributes. So basically, this is a input type test. This is a class, and you can see some ID and name. That's really good. So basically, in this case, we can identify search text field by ID or name. There are several ways of identifying elements. Not only ID, not only name. There are something called tag name, class name, link test, or partial link test, and we can build XPaths. XPaths is the navigation to the DOM to the element, and same like we have CSS paths. So there are several ways of identifying these elements. In this case, for the search text field, we really don't want to go for in that depth. We can just identify by ID. Right. If you are using it ID, it's straightforward. ID equal gh-ac. So you can just simply use that gh-ac as the ID. And if you're going to use the XPath, I'm explaining here how to build the XPath. This is a sample of one XPath. So how we're going to build that, we have to give double slashes, then tag name, and within square brackets with that attribute name, then attribute value. This is only a one way of creating an XPath. There are several ways of creating XPaths, and there are some advanced ways as well. In this session, I try to cover a few of XPaths. Right. Now, Let's go back to our exercise. Maybe how are you going to see whether these experts are correct or not? One way of getting the expert is just right click this element, copy expert. Then click on Ctrl F, you will get this field. Just put what you have got. You can see 1 out of 1, so that is a unique result. Here we already got another expert as ID equal GH. So this strict mean anything. We can further filter out this using this input. Right. You can see it will give the same result, the unique result. So this is how that we are building up our own relative XPath. Anyway, guys, this simply copy and having this XPath will not working every time. Even though that in this example it has been worked, sometimes you are not getting succeed, you are getting some absolute experts which are actually nonsense. So please in mind, most of the times that if you are going for experts, we have to be very careful and we have to build our own experts. Down the line, I'm trying to give you some example about how to create a different type of experts depending on the time. Now, we have identified these elements and then we have to communicate with these elements. What I mean to communicate? By identifying this search test field, what I want to achieve is pass some text. Input some text, then click on this search button. How to do that? We can use several automation tools to fulfill this requirement. In this case, we will simply using Selenium framework, and what I am going to do now, I'm using Selenium WebDriver and Java as a language, and the Maven for build management and Eclipse as the IDE, and show you how to do this very simply. Why I have selected these technologies? Mainly, these are the largest open source platform for UI automation as well as the best out of it when it comes to implement complex automation frameworks. Before I start, I want you to know the solution you are seeing is just for demo purpose. Just get the high level idea of how to use Selenium to identify elements and how to compose a simple test. This is no way we are engineering automation test, so please feel free to get the real high level idea as a reference and for your jump start, but don't follow this model. You can get handful of help guidelines on the internet, and we are supposed to conduct industrial automation courses at APIT as well, so there will be you will be able to learn correct discipline. So keeping in mind, let's see how we are going to do this in Eclipse. Let me load Eclipse. Okay, let's program. I'm using Eclipse here. So I'm going to create a new Maven project. File, new, other. Under Maven, please select Maven project, click on next. Select your default workspace location or just give you a new workspace location. Click on next. Here I'm going with Maven Archetype Quick Start. Click on next. Here we have to give a group ID and artifact ID. I'm using this form ORG training as a group ID and demo as the artifact ID and finish my test. Good. Right. Now we can see SRS main Java section, SRC test Java section. Under main Java, we can see another class called app. Java, and the test Java also I can see another class called test Java. Since I'm going to create a very simple program, I'm not intended to go into details, right? So I will be just simply going to implement this simple test within this class. This is just a simple, right? I don't need this main. I'm actually not going to use that. I'm going to use JUnit for test case management here. So in this case, we need some Maven repositories. Why we need Maven repositories? I'm going to automate using Selenium. So I need Selenium Java dependency and I need JUnit dependency. Let's go to form. You can see some dependency here, that is JUnit dependency, but it's still the older one, so I don't need that. So I'm going to delete it. Right. Now, how to get these dependencies? You can just simply Google. Go to A1 repository, search for Selenium Java, repository. Click there. I'm going to select the latest one. If you need, you can actually select any of these. There are some stable ones and the beta ones. I'm anyway going with the latest one. So just click on that, select it, and paste it. The other one I need is JUnit. Right. There also I'm going to select the latest one, 4.1.2. Right. I'm going to remove this scope test part because that will scope JUnit into the test section, but I'm not going to implement this section right now. I'm going to continue with this API and Java, so I don't want to limit that. Right, good. This control S, save it, and right click on form, run as, go to Maven, update project, till update your project and dependencies. Now here in Java, I want to select the elements as well as I want to, before that, I want to launch a browser. To launch a browser, we need, in this case, I'm going to go with Chrome browser. So we need Chrome driver. Same way, please search for Chrome driver for Windows. Right. Here you can see the Chrome driver in the Chromium ORG with the latest release. In my case, I already have the Chrome driver, so I'm going to place my Chrome driver somewhere here. I'm creating a folder here under SRC. Let's call it as resources. Okay. And I'm going to copy my Chrome driver here. Me search my Chrome driver. and I'm going to paste it here. Right, here we go. Now we have home driver. Just want to refresh it again to make sure. Okay, now I have created a my own project and I've done the background and I have selected the dependencies and I configured the home driver. Then let's start coding. Right. First of all, we need to set up our WebDriver. WebDriver is the way that we are going to communicate with the browser and elements. So how to set up this WebDriver? I'm writing the code here. Private WebDriver driver. So I have defined the driver. You can see this is not resolved yet. Give it a minute. Right. This import WebDriver. So you can see WebDriver is loaded from OpenQA Selenium. Then I'm going to use this WebDriver and I'm going to initiate this WebDriver. So I'm going to create another method, public WebDriver. How to get that? Okay, I'm having something set up for the setup WebDriver. Since it returns the WebDriver type, I need to return a WebDriver. So in this case, I'm returning this WebDriver driver here. So return drive. Okay. Before returning it, we need to initialize our WebDriver. How to initialize this? Let's go to Google. Again, then search for setup driver. In Selenium, right? You can see in the Chromium, we have some help of setting up Chromium Chrome driver. In my case, I will be start typing. I don't want to waste my time. So the first thing is we need to set the path to Chrome driver. How to do that? System dot set property that's how we are going to setting up the Chrome driver path. Okay, why not resolved? Alright, it's a set property. String key, string value. For the key, we have to give the WebDriver, Chrome driver. And for the path, we have to give the Chrome driver path. I'm getting that private path as a string here, private string. Equals, here you can see my trial path is in the src resources. So it will be src resources from driver exe. And I'm setting my from drive path here. So that means system will identify the drive from driver is in this drive path. Right. Then I'm initiating my driver as a new from driver call. From drive is not resolved. Okay, we have to from driver open QA Selenium from. Alright, yeah, that's the one. So I'm going to change that. So it will import OpenQA Selenium from driver. So our driver is initialized, but I want to do few things. I want driver to get to a certain URL, string URL, right? Again, I'm writing here private string this URL equal http www.ebay.com and give my base URL here. Private spelling mistake. Still spelling mistake. Okay, right. Then when this web driver initialized and navigated to this URL, it will just illustrate mode. So I want to maximize my window. How to do that? I have to hit driver manage window maximize method. Right. By doing this, we can initialize our web driver and it will navigate to ebay.com. Then it will maximize the browser. Okay, let's see this. Let me implement a method. Let's see public void test. What I'm going to do is I just trying to execute this setup. And I'm going to use JUnit test method here. And imported the org JUnit test. So let's see. Right. You can see this ebay.com. We have navigated to ebay.com and the browser is here. Good. Now you have seen that browser is open, right? Now let's implement few WebDriver related methods. One for get our WebDriver, the WebDriver get driver, which is supposed to return our driver, and the other one for void quick driver. With okay, driver dot quit. Okay, why I want to do that? Because the test, it has launch of browser and browser was there. If we're doing that, we will be having unnecessary drivers created. So at the end, I need to close these browser instances. So I'm importing after object. So this will make sure that at the end of our test run, our driver will get quit. Okay, before that, I will have another one method to make sure that driver.close and driver.quit. Fine, good. So I implemented all the WebDriver related methods there. Now it's time to identify our elements. Right, let's initialize our elements. One is private with element search text. Okay, we have to import web element as well. This search text is for the input search text field. The other one for private with element search button. This is our search button that we have to click after we have given the search term. So once it navigate to the search results page, you have to filter out, right? So I will have that as private with element with panel filter. For now, I will have like this. Though even it is free shipping, I will have it as left panel filter option. Okay. Then I need to assert private element that is a label. So that is free shipping. Free shipping label. Right. I have these elements initialized. So now, sorry. I have elements defined. So now it's time to initialize this element. How to do that? So let me initialize one element here, public element search text. So this is a method, and we need to return search text. Right. How to initialize this web element? We need to use Selenium find elements method. So how we can do that? We can use this get driver dot find element by dot. We are saying that in the search text field we can identify element by ID. Good. Now how to implement this? Let's see. Let's go to our eBay again. Right, we see this ID, which AC. Just copy it and have it here. Right. Now, the next one, we need to identify the search text, sorry, search button. see search button. How to identify that? Let's go there again and click on search button. You can see input type, submit, plus there's ID again. Let's get that ID. Scroll. Simple, right? Okay. Now we have identified the search text and the search button. Then let's see in the search results. I'm typing Samsung is 20 here, and in the search results, how to identify this free shipping under shipping options. Let's see this element. Okay, this is a bit tricky, guys. And with our knowledge, the prior knowledge, we know that this left navigation is very dynamic. Why is it dynamic? Dynamic is that DOM always getting changed with the search terms, and different times it also getting changed. So we can't actually go on any absolute references when we are building up the XPath for this. Let's see if there are any ID kind of thing here. Can't see any direct ID, and you can see this is really complex, right? It's under the class X refine select SVG, then there are several things, span checkbox, X refine, multi-select checkbox, and there aren't anything like ID. Under that again, we can see some, for this particular checkbox, you can see checkbox something, okay, right. Here, I will show you how to build an relative XPath. Uh, let's try something. Let's click on there and click on copy XPath and see whether it will work. Oh no, you can't get this XPath, guys, because it has some dynamic references here. Right, here we can see this XPath has some UL, LI, div. So this means that it has variants of unordered list elements and elements and the divs which are going to be changed. So if you are using kind of this XPath, it's tend to change always. So let's try to build up something solid. Uh, Let me collapse that and see. Okay, one thing that we can make sure that free international shipping. This free international shipping is a constant, that something that we can rely on. With that, let's see if we can take another attribute or something to create our XPath. Right, it will not work like that. Or even do. It will not work here, right? So how we're going to do this? Let's just go to this DOM and see what are the things that we can use. Okay, there's some interesting thing. We can see this area label equal free international shipping. Let's try to get this. This is in input class. So input, okay, have starts with array label. I think we have to have at here array label and free shipping. Right. You already saw that it has a match, so it highlighted. We can use this as our XPath. Great. Let's move to our program again. Right. Public would be removed. We expand field option, but here actually we are only going to search for click into free international shipping. But I have a funny idea, like by seeing this document object model and the way this is implemented, sometimes we might be able to come up with the common methods. It depends. We have to see that. But right now I'm not going to that detail, but just use this as it is. So left panel option is the left panel option again. In this case, we are going to use by export. And the expression is this one. Okay. Seems to be some errors. Right. We're not giving the export. We have to give the double quotations. Not start with. We have lost it. And close this and we to have this one. Right. Done. Now let's identify the next element. Once you click this free international shipping, the page is refreshed and given this filter of results. If you want results for Samsung S20, we are not going to evaluate this asserting this counts, but we are going to assert this free shipping element. So let's identify this free shipping element as well. Here it also seems to be a bit tricky. So under div, you can see several things. Okay, cool. Here's something I think you can get as free shipping and div combination. Right. Let's try that. Div. So start with it contains not area label but text. Free shipping. This is simple. Cool. Right. It has identified this div. That's fine. So let's get that. Good. Right. Now this is free shipping label. Again, we are going to identify by export. Export is this one. This one has been closed. This is closed. And it's closed and it is closed. Okay. I think yeah, syntax are done. So we have identified our elements. So it's time to see whether these elements are really identifiable or if there are any issues. Let's see. Let's complete our test. I'm going to code in sequence under this test method. Again, I want you guys to remind, this is just for your reference, right? In the real world, implementation is really different and you will see the sample of a real world example later on. Right. So with this setup, you are able to navigate to the browser and navigate to eBay. Now the next thing that we need to enter key value to search text field. So let's get this search text method. Click on enter. Here we can see a lot of methods. Some actions like clear, click, get some attributes, and the size, location is displayed, whether it is displayed or not, get text. So what we want to do is this, send keys. With this method, we can send some character sequence. So here I will create a parameter and pass the value here. String key. Our search term Samsung S20, and I will pass this parameter here. Okay. So what is the next one? Then we need to click on search button. Dot click. Then you will get into the search results page. This is results page in the left navigation. We need to filter out again for free international shipping. So let's get the panel filtration option and click that. Once the filtration is happened, we need to make sure that the on top of the page free shipping label is displayed. So how to do that? It is bit tricky. So unlike these sections, to conclude this, we need to make sure whether it is visible or not. To visible or not, you already saw that there's a method called is displayed. So we can use that, but here we have to make sure that test is passing or failing depending on whether it is displayed or not. So here I'm using JUnit asset. So here asset true. Right. And static import for asset true. Right, I have imported that. So in the top, you can see it is imported. As the condition, I can use the free shipping label is displayed. Right. Here we have done our test. Now it's time to run this and see it. Let's run it. Let's see. Navigated to eBay. And for example, Samsung S20 and we get an error. Interesting. What is the error? But the test is failed, but let's see what has happened. Okay, this one. I just use this property here, but I just want to use this method. Let me run it again. Right. Okay. Good. You can see this test is passed. Under JUnit test run, we can see the JUnit test is passed. Okay, guys. So that's it. Now we have implemented this solution. Now imagine in an interview, you have given an ample time and asked to develop the same solution. And if you have given the similar kind of solution, how do you think? It's not bad, but this means you know Selenium basics. That's pretty good. But if you claim that you know automation and programming, this may not be good enough. Why I say it's not good enough? You haven't followed good practices. In such cases, interview panel might ask you how to improve this coding and see whether you have the idea to build up a better solution. Imagine if you have been interviewed for a certain position and there are better solutions than yours, their preferences will be mostly with them, right? This way, guys, we need to learn best practices and should be able to provide more disciplined, robust, maintainable solutions. Now, I'm going to show you another different program which actually cover the same scenario. Let's see this solution, eBay. In the first look, you can see this is also a Selenium Java project managed by Maven. So go to form, similar kind of thing here. So it has the Selenium and the Maven and the JUnit. Right. The very first thing that I'm seeing, there's a package called page objects, design pattern called page objects model. So seems that the programmer has used the page object model design. That's good. Let's go to these classes. Let's go to setup. It's similar as the one we have created. In our case, that we have created all the thing in the one class, but here we can see the test has been separated, page objects separated, setup separated. That's good. One thing that the programmer might be, if we make to improve, we might be introducing property class to get these things not hard coded and get into a property file. We should have been done that. Right. Let's go to page object classes. We see eBay homepage. All the elements that we see are in the eBay homepage. One thing is about the page object model. We are listing down the elements of the relevant page under that page. In this case, we see that eBay homepage and the results page. So it would have been better if he has separated that into two classes. Just my thoughts. And I'm seeing there's a list, web element list of left panel items. Seems like programmer thinking about composing a common method here. That's a good effort. Well, let's go to this left panel items. Actually, guys, this is not good. You can see that this X path will be a little break in the long run. So this is not a good practice. Mm, so other than that, actually, most of the times that is been using the relative X path. That's good. And there are some parameterizations, means that sometimes these methods that he intend to use reuse. That's why that parameterization has been happened. That should be good. Let's go to the search test Java. Nothing much here. A lot of comments also here. This is a key, the home page, launch browser, setup driver. And yes, we see that the key has been passed, hard coded. Nothing much. It's almost that sequence. And we can see there's a JavaScript executor here. Interesting. I think maybe in this case that the free international shipping, which was down the line in the left panel. So sometimes programs might difficult to scroll down. That's why I think they have been used this JavaScript scrolling. In overall, I can say this is fairly better than the solution that we have created right now. But still, there are a whole lot of things to be improved when it comes to compare to the industry level. Now, let me show you another project, this EX portal. This one is not supposed to test eBay, but a similar kind of e-commerce site. Uh, let's see in detail. Uh, when it comes to structure, actually there are many things, guys, but let's have the overall idea on how things should be happen when it comes to industry levels and when you are using the best practices. In this structure, we see the main Java, main resources, this Java, this resources. They have been four sections. And when it comes to this main Java, we see that the core utils package here and exporter page objects. There are different kind of page objects has been created. That's great. We have several packages for different page objects. And main resources. That's cool. We see many properties here. So property files has been utilized and the com driver as well as the core driver and log4j properties has been that logs has been used, and there seems to be some page elements also defined in here. Good. Under test, what we have? Right, we see steps. Steps mean that this program might be using the cucumber. Let's see that. Yeah, under test resources, we can see features. These are cucumber features, guys. So this project is using the test management cucumber, and that's why this has been implemented, and we can see a test runner as well. So in overall, you can see some sort of an advanced structure here, right? Let's pop into some classes. Let's go to Coyotes. There's something called global Java, right? We can see that a constants has been used. The common things that we are using for the browser and the time waits, all these has been configured here. That's good. Let's see this grid common. Right. This again, I think this class has been implemented to dealing with different grids and using as a command class. That's good. Here we can see a log Java, so it seems like yeah, this program has been extended the logger, log4j logger, and created its own log. That's good. And we have seen data readers, asset util. Asset also they are using their own way of handling assertions. And the interesting thing we can see that they're using some error correctors. That's good. So is there a generator with byter? What is a byter? Oh, right. They are not using the web element as it is, but they are building up a wrapper around the web element as the byter. So they are taking more control over it as well. So when it comes here, guys, you can see that some advanced programming concepts has been used in this project. Not all that, even in the test management, we can see the cucumber test has been there, the test planner is here. So altogether, we can see some sort of advanced programming concepts has been used. So guys, I don't want to go into details. The idea here, guys, you have seen a simple project that I have created with you guys a while ago. I'm just capable to do our task perfectly match that. But now you might think that it's not just good enough, right? To be a good automation engineer, it's mandatory to learn the basics, then adhere to industry norms and develop yourselves to cater with the industry needs. So please think about this when you start learning software automation. In our Avid programs, we will show you the clear path to build up your professional career, how to be an automation specialist.